So yeah, happy to talk about the inclusion, group, rejection, aspect.
Heck yeah.
Fail for you.
Well, I've just experienced so much of it. I imagine you have, and I imagine a lot of people out there have.
Yep.
They've experienced discomfort or isolation or exclusion or just difficulty in groups.
Yeah. Well, it's, and it's interesting, Phil, because it all starts with, I think, when you just don't feel right. You don't really know what it is. You may not be able to put a name to it. You're in a group, but something feels off. Right. And so it starts with your intuition. See, this is what a lot of people don't get sometimes, particularly on the ADHD or even neurodiversity spectrum, is that our intuition just gets shattered, in early life. And so our sense to be able to trust ourselves about what we know or what we feel in a situation when something's off.
Yeah.
And so when you can rebirth, reconnect, reorient that, rebalance that, de-traumatize that, desensitize it.
Well, I'm probably sensitive. I probably do.
You are.
I have a lot of my receptors.
Right.
And I've thought about this. I think, who is it that wrote about this? It might have been Daniel Goleman and his stuff about emotional intelligence.
Right.
Where he talks about if you've experienced, like I was raised with a temperamental stepdad who would just like that, fly off the handle, and it'd be really chaotic and scary and violent at times. So being exposed to that environment over time, I think gave me a really sensitive radar for threat.
Sure. So that's one layer of it. So it gives you a sensitive, hypervigilant radar for threat. Okay.
Am I safe?
Okay. But what if you came out of the womb like that?
That's
just
true.
a higher sensitivity from picking things up, artist, higher degree on the sensitivity spectrum regarding all the sensory integration issues in the body. What if you were that way and you get your ass kicked? So
we're talking nature and nurture. Some people have it through a nature path. Some people have it through a nurture path, and some people have it through both.
Right. And I think, is it worth it to try to pull them apart? Maybe not.
You either got it or you don't.
Right. And the reality is you still have to live with it. You still want to go back into how do you live a dynamic life in a way that really works for you, that's not about purposing it for other people. So this is where you get back into the group piece again. It's like, okay, wait a minute. I want to be part of a group. I don't want to be myself. So there are norms within any group, right? You do any mammal, animal system.
We need to be in groups.
Yeah, we need to be in groups. And we need to be ourselves.
Humans are meant to be in groups.
Right.
We were designed and developed. There's this book called The Social Leap, A Social Leap by William von Hippel, I think is his name. And it's all about how we were able to evolve. We were able to succeed.
Right.
In different environments because of our ability to work together.
Right. So that interrelatedness of our being, we're connected to each other. And I don't know what the movie was 20, 30 years ago where the punishment was a disconnection from people.
Ostracization is the most, is the scariest threat.
Oh, so painful.
It is because it meant death historically.
Well, right.
If you're not a part of the tribe, you die.
Well, right, because you're not going to be able to survive. You're not going to be able to do everything you need to do to take care of yourself. You have to rely on each other.
And we've got that.
We do.
Still today in 2026, we all have a nugget of if I'm not a part of this group, I die.
I know. I think it's bigger. I think it's bigger than a nugget. I think it's like a rock. I think
it's in there.
It's our related being, And
we have to.
But so we go back to what we were talking about earlier, but you feel this when you're in groups. That related beingness, right? That sense of connectedness. There's a flow. I get you. It makes sense to me, And so when you don't have that, or it's off, or it's disrupted, but you don't trust it, then you start relying on other people. You start relying on norms that someone says, oh, I guess what I feel or I trust isn't right. I'm going to do what that person does, but it's not who I am. So now I'm starting to lose my authenticity.
Well, you start externally referencing.
Exactly.
And
You know.
So I'm gonna set the context for this.
Great.
Why is this important to me now? Why am I thinking about this? I'm just gonna set that up with you. It's so good to have you back in the house, man.
I know. It's been a while.
Yeah. Well, we figured out. I'm just so persistent. That's sad.
Stay persistent, because that's the only way you're going to get. You know, I got all kind of shit changing in my practice right now. So.
Heck yeah. Well, then I'll speak to this shortly, or just briefly, but persistence is hard because a part of me, whenever it doesn't work out, interprets that as rejection. Or it's like all my shadows come out.
Right.
Oh, James, I'm not important enough to James. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. Why won't he make room for me? And there's this like, there's this thing that's ugly. And you kind of have to be like, you have to soothe it. You benefit from soothing it, reframing it, telling yourself a different story.
Right.
So that you can remain persistent, because all of that is in your haunted house.
Exactly.
It's not in the shared space.
No, it's not. It's not, because when you see me or we're together, it's like there's total connection. And it's just enormously. So I try to look at that as a menagerie of connection. It's like, where is the flow going to happen in the connection? It's going to happen.
Yeah.
But that rejection piece, it's like one of the big pieces I'm doing right now is really just embracing not only rejection, not resistance is normal. Mm-hmm. Okay? So normalize resistance. It's going to happen. Rejection is normal. What do you mean
resistance is rejection? Are you synonymously?
Yes. Well, not even synonymously. Resistance is anything I feel is a repelling or a pushing away or a questioning or a wondering about.
Okay.
And so, but then the rejection is a form of that resistance, all right? But if you normalized rejection, not in a way that I'm seeking it, I'm not trying to go find it and be a screw up all the time just because I like that stimulation. But if it's going to happen out of neurodiversity or kind of who we are or interactions of time and space because we can't sync up, if you don't personalize it, if you don't let that shit in a way that disrupts your internal sense of self, so like you're right, you perceive it as, oh, okay, not now, not yet. That's sad. That's disappointing.
Yeah, maybe ask a qualifying question. Can I follow up with you in a couple months? Would you be okay with that? Right.
Exactly.
And trust people to own their no's and yeses and believe them.
Exactly. And trust them to walk right up, because I think I walked right up to one of the lines we were going to get together earlier, and I had to call it.
Oh, yeah, a couple times. We had the weather. Right before that snowmageddon, the freeze, and then another time before that with all the challenges you're experiencing in your life, and
right, and
it's life.
It is, but if you take it as life, Phil, and you don't deny it, you don't try to run away from it.
Right,
you keep your eyes.
You don't close off that connection because those things occur. Right. But I think a lot of folks experience rejection sensitivity.
Absolutely.
What's it called? RSD, rejection sensitivity
dysphoria. And what's interesting is that, that goes in concert with the emotional distress syndrome that I write about, because rejection sensitive dysphoria is that internal, natural, sensitive, neurological reactivity. Right. Okay. To a sense of a sensation coming to you, and you feel rejected, or you feel pain and dysphoria as a result of it. Well, all that builds the emotional distress syndrome. All those people, all that builds up into a syndrome that feels like a low-grade post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah. It's one of the things I've wanted to do here recently is, write an article that pulls those two pieces together, because they feed each other.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But knowing about both of them so that you can reframe, repurpose, reorient. And I will tell you, the last 7 or 8 years, and you've seen a lot of it, a lot of my hunt has been around resourcing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We did our last whole discussion was about resourcing. Mm-hmm.
And that's still happening. And and that's what the second book is going to be about. It's really
navigating the storms.
Yes. The lifetime storms of adult ADHD. And I love the first title, which is when the shiny wears off. Yeah. Okay? When you know as much as you need to know about everything you need to know, and it's still freaking hard.
It's going to be
hard. What do you do? Yeah. It is.
Well, one about rejection sensitivity dysphoria, it seems like the worst superpower ever. the ability to take no matter what sensory input you get and turn it into rejection. No matter what they say or do,
Right.
you're able to like transform that into rejection.
Right. But if you normalize rejection, if you say, okay,
Rejection's
that's
a part of life.
that's my hair color, height, and weight.
Or it's not rejection. I'm not being rejected. It's just a not now.
There we go.
Yet.
It's a flow state.
Reframing.
Right. Right.
But here's why that's so important in our discussion today. Rejection is some felt sense of less connection, less
Right.
connection to the world,
Right.
less connection to group, less connection, and probably some sense of I'm not important enough, I'm not worthy, I don't have status or hierarchy, I'm not in the hierarchy in a good place.
But is it a perceived rejection?
Well, certainly it's
Meaning,
perceived.
because if you can, you see it as a not now, you see it as this is part of the flow state. I'm still connected to other things. It's not what's happening right now. But we have sensitized ourselves to be so externally focused, which I think feeds this rejection issue.
Yeah.
Okay? So go back to what I was saying earlier, where you got this intuition. And if you build your sense of knowing, that you're like, okay, no, I know James, and he knows me, and he cares for me, and I care for him, and it will work when it works, and it's supposed to be. And now you start playing with what I call absolute perfection, which is everything is as it should be, or it would be different. That's not a default setting. That's like, oh, screw life. No, this is like really finding rhyme and reason and meaning.
Yeah.
Okay, it's your adventure. Are you going to play in it and own it and be it and love it? Are you going to?
Yeah.
So to me, albeit the rejection is very visceral for us, right? I mean, our darkness, we're freaked out, we're panicking, we're breathing fast, we can't see which way is up straight.
Ruminating,
every little sound suddenly becomes a threat or
hypersensitivity.
It's real.
It's real.
But understanding the intensity of who we are and accepting that, living into it, and that's where I think the sensitization needs to occur. Okay, I'm an intense person. I'm hyperactive. I'm impulsive. I love life. I grab it by the throat and run with it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to own that. And if people are going to reject that issue, okay, well, then you're not my people.
That's right.
And this is where I love the ideas of neurodiversity. Here we go. We're finding our people, right? It's like, and man, when you're in that group of people, it's like, there's nothing like it, right?
It feels good, doesn't it?
Well, it's like you're a kid in a candy store. It's like, oh my God, all my people.
And they're communicating in a similar way. And
so, short little burst, and they're running, interrupting each other, and it's all flow. It's just like, it's beautiful.
It really is.
It is.
I've got a couple groups that are like that. And whenever I leave them, I almost want to send a text of like, I'm so grateful for y'all.
I know.
I'm so grateful for how easy it is to be with y'all.
Right, and I'm going to miss you till next time.
Yeah, I'm so look forward to the times we spend together.
Oh, yeah.
The...